What's up? My name is CJ and I'll be hosting the first ever broadcast brought to my attention. Our show is about Houston businesses and you, the people who make them up. Speaking of local Houston businesses, my executive producer has a few words he'd like to say on roofs and insurance.
The first part of our show today is about roofs. No one wants to spend $10,000 or more on a new roof. Well, listen up, Houstonians, because this could save you thousands of dollars. One of the most important jobs your house has is keeping your stuff from the elements. I'm talking cold, dust, wind, heat, and most of all, rain. And the part of the house that deals the most with that, well, that's your roof. Most people don't think about roofs. They live under them, and that's pretty much all they know. So when it comes time to buying a new roof, well, let's just say it's a pretty unsexy purchase. It's kind of like buying tires on a car. Most people in Houston have a shingle roof, and there's two types of shingle roofs. There's a 3-tab and what they're calling an architectural shingle. The architectural shingle is fast replacing the 3-tab because it has a better warranty, a better wind rating, and it's more aesthetically pleasing. There's a new breed of roofers out there, and they provide a free service. And that free service is called a roof inspection. If you suspect you have roof damage, you can call a roofing company and they'll come out and inspect your roof for free. Let's talk with one of them now. Today I'm here with Mike Lee, one of the owners of EPG, one of Houston's premier roofing companies. Mike, thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Can you tell us a little bit about your history and how long you've been here and what market you serve and why history is so important?
Absolutely. I'll tell you, one of the things we're most proud of is we've been here about 15 years. We serve the entire greater Houston area. We've got this office where we are today. We've got an office in Katy. Extremely proud to say that myself and the other owners of the company have all been in Houston for 30 plus years. Born and raised here, and we're proud to be Houstonians, and we'll continue to serve this market.
That's great.
Let me say this. It's important to deal with a company that's not only been around a long time, but that knows what they're doing. You don't want to ever have a situation where you've got an issue with any workmanship that you can't get a hold of the owner of the company, that you can't get a hold of the company.
Okay.
Longevity is important.
Does that happen often where you come across a homeowner that had a roof installed from another roofing company from out of state?
Absolutely. As we all know, we've had a hurricane 2 years ago.
Right.
And that's one of the things that we see most often. We get calls in our office all the time with someone who's had an issue with their new roof that was installed. There's an outside contractor that came in the dark of the night, had some signs made up that made them appear to be local.
Right.
However, we all know they weren't. They were there for a couple of weeks, installed a lot of roofs on homeowners' homes, and now there's issues. And these homeowners are not able to get a hold of these folks.
So what happens then?
Well, it's a tough question because in a lot of cases, if they simply can't get a hold of that contractor, it's back on the homeowner's dime.
Okay.
If there's a problem with the roof, they've got to pay to get it fixed, and they can't get a hold of their original installer, they will have to contract with a company like us or someone else, hopefully that's reputable, that's here in Houston, that's able to go in and make the necessary repairs.
That makes all the sense in the world.
It's unfortunate, but it happens a lot.
Now I'm here with Jeff Meineke, another owner of EPG. Let's talk a little bit about the claims process. Can you tell me a little bit about how that works? I know a lot of homeowners are scared to even look at their insurance. They put it away and they don't know much. So how does that work on y'all's end?
Well, it's a typical perception through a lot of homeowners if they file a claim that they're either one, their rates are going to go up, or two, they're going to be dropped, which isn't the case. We live in an area that typically, receives, we have a lot of storms. We had a hurricane 2 years ago. Everybody's rates are going to go up. So if you file a claim or not, it doesn't really matter. It was caused by an act of God. It's not the homeowner's fault. So the rates will be going up for everybody at some point, but not because that there was a claim filed.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the process. Say I'm a homeowner and I feel I may have roof damage. Of course, I don't know because I don't want to get up on my roof or I just don't have the time. I pick up the phone, I call EPG. What happens at that point?
Well, at that point, we would send out one of our licensed adjusters, and they're trained to what to look for when they get on your roof. we would show up, and you want to make sure that you have your obvious damage, storm-related damage, that's enough for the insurance company to, warrant replacing your roof. When we're out there, we do a full inspection of the property, the roof, the surrounding area of your house. I mean, you could end up with damage to any other thing in your yard. But when we're out there on that roof, we're looking for hail damage. We're looking for wind damage. It's not just missing shingles. There's many things to look at, and you need a trained eye to look for that. What you don't want to do is call an insurance company out there if you don't have the damage, because you're wasting their time, you're wasting the roofer's time, and you want to make sure you go with a reputable company that knows what they're looking at, to get the job done.
So what you're saying basically is that you're going to help the homeowner, you represent the homeowner, or kind of mediate what's going on with insurance. I know not everything's cut and dry with insurance. How does that work when we make the call to you, then what happens?
Well, once they make the call to us, like I said, we're going to make sure that they do have the damage, and then we're going to sit down with that homeowner, and we're going to get the claim called in. Once the claim's called in, the insurance company typically has 72 hours to respond to set the adjuster's appointment.
Okay.
Once that appointment is set, the homeowner will then let the roofer know when the adjuster is going to be coming out, and they would let them know, and we would be there waiting on the adjuster to show him the obvious damage. We get on the roof with them, we walk around with them. We want to make sure that the homeowner is taken care of and treated properly, and we know what we're looking for.
Now that the homeowner is aware of the damage, you're on the roof, there is apparent damage there. Can you tell me a little bit about the process after we've assessed that there's damage?
Sure. Once the adjuster shows up and you're up on the roof, you show him the obvious damage, you lead him around. It doesn't always go your way. One or two things can happen. One, he's going to pull his tape measure out and he's going to start measuring your roof. He just paid for you a new roof. Two, he's going to tell you you don't have enough damage, or the damage you have is from a previous storm, or it's from wear and tear, or you just have an old roof.
Okay.
If he tells you you have an old roof, or gives you an excuse why he can't do it, if you have obvious damage and you're with a reputable roofer, he can call in for a readjustment. It's your right as an insurance holder. It states it in the Texas Department of Insurance, you have the right to have a second inspection, and then have somebody else come out and show them the obvious damage, and then go from there.
Okay. That sounds kind of scary. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that by myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why all the guys that we have here are licensed adjusters. They're trained to look for the same damage that the insurance company's rep they're sending out.
Okay.
You want to be on equal grounds with their representative.
Kind of like having an attorney.
Absolutely, because I mean, there's so many times with especially they come out and they meet with elderly people, they meet with females, and what they'll tell them is, you have an old roof, you don't have enough damage. They can't get up on the roof and verify that.
Right.
That's where we come in. We come in and we if you have the obvious damage, we're going to fight for you, and we're going to get you the roof you deserve.
Well, Jeff, I know that most people don't concern themselves with buying a roof. It's not a purchase that people look forward to getting or even thinking about, but everybody needs one, obviously. What is the final price for the services that you offer, and how does all that wash out when you deal with the insurance companies?
Well, it really depends on the policy you signed up for. When you go into an agent's office, they're always, they want to push price.
Right.
This is what it's going to cost you. I can get it cheaper. Deductibles. Okay, deductibles are typically 1 or 2%. Okay, 1% typically is for wind and hail.
Okay.
2% is once we have a named storm. We get a tropical storm, a hurricane in the Gulf, it becomes a named storm. At that point, it's going to, if that's what damages your roof, you're going to pay the 2%. I've seen, as high as 5%,
Yes.
6%,
Wow.
which is very high.
Yeah, that's impossible for a homeowner to really make any type of reparations when you have a 5% deductible.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very costly, and that's another thing you need to check with your agent to make sure. Make sure you have a deductible that you can afford to pay. If you have a damage and it's leaking and it's damaging your furniture and your pictures, you're not going to be able to wait.
Now, free is a term that I hear a lot in the roofing industry. Is there really such a thing as a free roof?
There absolutely is. If you want to commit insurance fraud
Oh.
and commit a felony, It's your responsibility to pay your deductible.
Okay.
If you have a $10,000 roof and you have a $2,000 deductible, they're going to send out $8,000. You're responsible as a homeowner to pay that other $2,000. If you do not, if you have a roofer says, okay, I'm going to do your roof for $8,000, don't worry about your deductible. You just committed insurance fraud.
Oh,
It's your responsibility to pay that, and insurance companies frown upon that, and you may not get caught.
right.
But eventually, the roofer that you're doing business with, they will be caught. Their records will be subpoenaed, and then your name is going to be in there that you didn't pay your deductible. Then you're going to be in trouble.
So a simple process as of replacing a roof could land me in court one day
Absolutely.
if I don't follow the right
It's absolutely could.
guidelines.
And you have a lot of these homeowners that try to handle this process themselves. They could. It's the luck of the draw. You're going to get a fair adjuster out there,
Right.
or you're going to get one that must meet his numbers, and you may not get approved because of that. I mean, I wouldn't take that chance.
Right.
Not with something as important as a roof that's nobody wants to go out and spend money on a roof. They want to buy a new car, a new boat. That roof, it's not a pretty purchase, but it's something that protects everything you own. So,
Right.
you want to be careful who you use.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. I would use the analogy, it's like going to court without an attorney. And then once again, how do you guys get paid? I mean, is this service going to cost the homeowner?
No, the homeowner is only responsible for their deductible.
Okay,
You pay your deductible, as long as you don't have rotten wood that's just rotten from being old,
Right.
you'd be responsible from that. But the insurance company proceeds is what a reputable company works for.
Okay.
You're only responsible for your deductible. That frankly, I wouldn't, you want to make sure that the work is completed and you're satisfied, before you get that to the roofer.
very good, very good. Very good information for a lot of homeowners out there to try to weather this themselves, not to coin a phrase, but this is good information, and could save a lot of people a lot of money in roofs.
If downtown Houston were Saturn, then 1960 would be its outermost ring. We're going to visit 3 places today, all new to the 1960 area. So kick back and have a drink with us as we take you on this magic school bus ride.
New to 1960, but a Texas tradition, this place has great sandwiches and wings and an excellent selection of beer.
Beyond that is relaxed and sports and climb with flat screens everywhere. The sandwich you have to try here is the turkey on wing with their signature sauce, mustard blend. You ever heard of it? That's what you want on your sandwich.
Second stop. Here we are, Bootlegger's Bar and Grill. This place is low-key, cool, and dark.
And we're tucked away in a corner of a strip center at West Road and Steepleway.
So the people who know its location come here solely to get lost. Seeing as this place is a little off the beaten path, the drinks are cheap and free pour, aka no douchebag jiggers. And best of all, you get to smoke inside. Hey, bring it back. Now double that michelada and make it stack. Thank you, Jay-Z. So anywho, we're here today with professional bartender Julie.
Hey!
We're off of 1960 at the 9400 Club, and she's gonna walk us through a little bit of her variation on the michelada.
Absolutely. Well, it was first brought to my attention in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And when I was special enough to bring this recipe back with me, which unlike the Tex-Mex version, I make it with no tomato juice.
Really?
Really?
So then why don't you just go ahead and show me this little Puerto Vallarta variation of the michelada?
I'd be absolutely happy to.